And we got to get him. We got to get him. Now, but that's not what this one is about. So we covered Russell Wilson. In the second part of the show, I want to talk about Caleb Williams and what I believe Caleb Williams is doing. Now, either I am a savant, a mastermind, a wild. I even had this conversation with my wife earlier as we were looking at some of this stuff. And she said the same thing. Caleb Williams does not have an agent. And reports came out. The reason he doesn't have an agent is because when they were interviewing agents, the question that the dad had was, well, can you get around the drafted player's salary clause? Right? So how much they're going to get, depending on when they're drafted and all these, all these caps that are on their contracts. And every single one of them told him, no, that's impossible. That's the NFL rules. He said, okay, well then what's the point in hiring you if you can't actually get my son more money? We can just get the same thing if, it's pretty much a set deal that if he gets drafted number 1, he's going to make X amount of money. Then what do we need you for? So they didn't hire and are not planning, as far as I know so far, they are not going to hire a agent. Then he goes to the combine, but he refuses to do medicals and he refuses to work out. He does the little 5-minute interviews or whatever it was, 5-10 minutes that they get with several teams. But when he was asked, why are you not doing medicals? I mean, even Patrick Mahomes did medicals. I mean, everybody does medicals. Because if you want to trade up in the draft, you need to know this guy's medical history. Because there might be something in there that you're like, ooh, no, we don't want to take that chance. So basically, you're drafting somebody who may have a lingering issue medically that you don't know about. So you're drafting blind. So by him denying it, his excuse is, well, there's 32 teams and there's only one of me, so only one team can draft me. So I'll do the medicals with the teams that I choose to interview with. So he is basically making it impossible for any team that he does not interview with later on to trade up and draft him. He's completely taking that out of the equation. Now, here's where my theory comes in as to why he is doing this. So, hear me out, nation. Hear me out. When they were trying to get out from under the contract, one of the rookie contracts, rookie scale, and the agent said there's no way to do it. They said, well, then there's no point in hiring you. And, well, this system is broken because why should my son have to play for a terrible team just because they have the number 1 pick? So they don't want him to play for a terrible team. They want to dictate where he's going to go. So the strategy, and this is brilliant on his part, if he's trying to avoid going to a particular team. He doesn't do medicals for teams he doesn't want to be drafted by. I think what Caleb Williams is going to do is any team that he does not want to be drafted by, he will refuse the interview with them. And therefore, not do a medical while doing that interview at their place. Because by not doing it at the combine, it's not shared by all 32 teams. So the only people that are going to get a medical on him are the teams that he goes and does an interview with later on. Thus eliminating any possibility of him being drafted by particular teams. It's kind of brilliant, actually. What do y'all think about that? Do you think Caleb and his family are onto something? And if this is allowed to happen, is this going to be common now? Will this become the norm? in the NFL, where you have players coming out of college who are top 5 picks saying, nah, we're not going to do the medicals, because there's nothing binding that they have to do the medicals at the combine. So they can simply refuse to do it. In this